I have 5 years to save the worst Big 12 team, and there's loads of contenders for this like Baylor, Kansas, Houston, and more. After recent realignment, the Big 12 now has 16 teams, and ever since Houston joined, they haven't adapted well, starting this season 1-4. Not only will I save them in 5 years, but I'm going to try to do it only recruiting in the state of Texas, and the ultimate goal is winning a championship with them. With limited time, I'm going to start out by redshirting some of these true freshmen. We could have them for all 5 years, but Caleb Thomas is the best one I could find, and he's a normal dev player, so we're in a lot of trouble. See, due to all the struggles the Cougars have gone through recently, starting this year, there's 18 players that have a risk of transferring out, so I have to focus on putting together a super good class. With only recruiting in Texas, I found a lot of 4-stars and then one 5-star I really want to land. Emilio's from Lufkin, Texas, which is about 2 hours away from Houston. He's a top 10 player in the country, and so I think the smartest thing to do to spend my first 15 coach points on would be putting it into this passing game category so we're able to put more hours on him every week. So far, that's clearly making a huge difference when it comes to recruiting goats, but once we start hard selling him, I have to hope that these school grades are good enough to get him to commit. We're starting to get to that stage with some of these other prospects. As you can see, it's going to be a battle for every single player, but that's the challenge that comes with only recruiting in Texas, and 7 more players are now at a risk of transferring out. We're basically set to lose this entire team, and that's not good since now that we've caught up to their real life record, we're sitting at 1-4. From here, I can start playing games. I'm only able to hop into 3 regular season games a year, but my main priority still needs to be recruiting, and of course Ohio State's come into the picture. We don't even have the hours to really compete for him and schedule him for a visit because at the moment we're in so many tough, close battles for all these other 4-stars, and I could show off all the team needs that we have, but what it comes down to is we're going to have to replace basically every single position. I don't even think I've mentioned the quarterback room yet, but that's because there's not much to get excited about, which is why we need the 5-star to commit. Right now, this guy wants to transfer out, and Donovan Smith is a senior who I think people thought was going to take a big step forward this season, but I'm not sure if he has. I mean, this Houston team scored 0 points against Iowa State in real life, and my expectations going into this one are not very high, but we have to try and beat TCU. So far, we've actually played pretty well. This is why I set the limit at how many games I can hop into in a season at just 3. Donovan Smith making the play of the game right now, and he just turned that one into what was supposed to be a sack into a huge run. This is what we've been able to do throughout the entire game. He's a monster, but of course he is a senior like I said, so we're not going to have him for long. If we pick up this 3rd and 2, the game would be over, but that's not going to be the case. TCU has come back, and they're going to have a chance to drive down the field versus our defense and score with one final possession. I don't like that. This would be a pretty terrible choke for us, especially since the team we're facing is 1-4, though I think we boxed everything up. Here we go. It's now 3rd and 18. They're going to try to probably hit this deep post route. They can't though. And this is how we get Houston back on the right track. All we have to do, one more stop right here, and I protected the sticks. We're going to get the interception with Wilson. This one's over. I know it's not really an impressive win, but I will take it. Houston needs anything they can get, and I just hope this performance convinces our 5-star quarterback to come be a quarterback here as well. The committed screen didn't pop up for him, but it did pop up for Nick, and even if his man coverage and press stats aren't great, he is 95 speed, so I'm hoping he develops into a good starter. You'll notice our board at the moment has a ton of defensive players on it because we really need them. We also have gotten into a better lead on goats, but we don't have the hours to schedule him for a visit yet. Instead, we're going to do it on some of these closer prospects against Utah in week 9. My hope at least is they commit before that pops up. I'm not sure if this is the same linebacker, but I think it is. We picked up 2 in the same week while also losing a wide receiver to SMU. This one hurts. He was a 4-star gem with 93 speed, but our school grades weren't good enough, and the battle for goats is definitely going to come down to the wire. We have to schedule him before week 11 when he goes to Ohio State, so thankfully this week was open. The biggest issue we're probably going to run into though is getting a second wave of prospects only recruiting in Texas. There's very few players still available. Now, if there's any other game I'm going to hop into in season 1, it's got to be against Kansas State since Goats is coming on a visit for that. And going into it, I'm expecting us to be 2-6 because we have some tough matchups coming up. Kansas is 6-0. Their season's going much better than it is in real life, and we get another commit. But in the process of signing that cornerback and then another one, we did lose the linebacker to Baylor. Just in case we don't land Goats though, I've diversified. I've gone after another 5-star. This one's a linebacker. And whether or not we sign the number 9 player in the country all comes down to if we can upset Kansas State. This is a massive game for us. Going into it, Ohio State has jumped up into the lead, but I truly think winning would change that. And as you can see, it's been a pretty rough first half, but we have a chance to end it with a touchdown right here. All of a sudden, it is back within a possession. But we need to have a big drive to start this 3rd quarter, and running the ball, we're able to get a first down. You know, for the roster that we have at the moment, we're actually playing pretty well. Donovan Smith could go for the end zone, but it's probably best if we're just a little bit more patient, and I really threw that RPO right there. I'm going to go ahead and put these on as the play's going on. I'm going to finish the game with these. I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to accept the fact that I'm clearly blind. This is cover 0, so we should have a touchdown if we have a faster receiver here. He breaks the tackle, and Manjack with the man of a play. Is it bad to have hope in this game? Potentially. But going into this fourth quarter, it is still a one-possession game, and we are going to catch that ball. This is truthfully the most important game of this season, and maybe these blind glasses are actually good luck, and we're going to put them on whenever we need to get some good luck. Ever since putting these on, I've been playing way better, even though everything is very, very dim. And a 2-point conversion would be massive for us, which we got good blocking on. The only problem is it took Kansas State like 0 time to respond, so now we have to figure out how to do the same thing. There's only a few more possessions left in this game, and that was not the right read. I was staring down the running back. It is now 4th and 5, and I think taking off with Donovan could be the right move, though he had to deliver a dot. I can't believe we still have a chance to sign the 5-star quarterback. The jet touch pass is going to get us to the 1, and I really hope a fullback dive is able to finish the job. You know what's not able to finish the job, though? Our defense. We just keep on giving up big play after big play. There's a reason I'm trying to replace literally every single cornerback on this roster. I'd love to hold them to a field goal, but I'm going to assume they're going to get into the end zone, and I might have to take that back. It is 3rd and 6. All we have to do is hold them, and we knocked it out. These glasses are good luck. We can win it with a field goal. I'm literally just going to take my drag routes all the way down the field. Maybe I have to scramble. Donovan Smith literally breaks like every tackle behind the line. He has to have an ability that causes that to happen or something. It's made him such a fun quarterback to use. As far as we've driven down the field, though, we might not have this one wrapped up. They're starting to burn through their timeouts. I think they're hoping to get the ball back, which they might actually end up doing. I don't know what I just did. I don't know what I just did. I panicked. I hit the wrong button. This is the worst choke ever. I mean, the glasses are on for a reason. We can still win, though. It's not over. They have to get into field goal range versus our defense. If they don't pick up this 3rd and inches, I'm sure they're going to punt the ball. They threw it straight to us. And there is still hope for Houston, even though I have pretty much just caused us to lose this game. I'm also the reason that we're in it, so I can't fully complain. All right, now I have a plan. It's not a great plan because I could throw an interception. Donovan Smith breaking a tackle, though. And with no timeouts left, I pretty much just have to aim this pass to the sidelines here, which is not going well. Basically, we just have to get ready for overtime now. And I have elected to play defense first, where the play action just completely faked me out. I thought we had the run locked up. Now we have to respond back with a touchdown of our own, and I probably shouldn't have ever put these glasses on. It does make it a lot harder to make reads. I'm not saying that's the reason I threw that interception that caused us to not kick a field goal, but it might be part of it. And I think I've seen enough. We're either winning this game right here with my favorite play call, or we're losing. We just had to pick up the block. What are you doing? I can't. I actually can't. We literally had it locked up. All our receiver had to do was block that one player. Now Goats has committed to Ohio State. Now I have to scout a bunch of 3-star quarterbacks to hopefully find the answer. I can't even say this receiver's name, which is going to make for an interesting 4 years. And I found a gem in Jaquez Tabor at quarterback, 96 throw power, 90 speed, but I'm not sure what his skill caps would be. I'm not going to lie, that loss to Kansas State, which was pretty much my fault, has sent me down a spiral worse than the rest of the season. And it's going to be a miracle if the Cougars can win another game. To cheer me up, though, Ben Escobar did commit. We have a beast at linebacker. It's just we're about to lose like 20 seniors to graduation and then another 20 to 30 players to the transfer portal. I will never forget the way that I lost that game to Kansas State, but we did get a win to end the year at BYU 35-30, and I just have to move past the loss that we had. Donovan Smith's season stats don't look great. I probably threw half those picks. But Parker Jenkins is someone to keep an eye on. He's only a sophomore and he rushed for almost 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. We needed some positive news like that because our receivers were terrible. One thing I did adjust to mid-season was I did start adding some 3-stars to our board, so those commits should be coming in, and let's just go ahead and fire these coordinators. There was nothing positive that came with them. We ended up finishing at 14th in the Big 12. At least we weren't the worst team. And on early National Signing Day, it's time to see some dev traits. Ben Escobar is an elite dev linebacker. He's going to be the best player on our defense. Star dev on a 97 speed cornerback. And then there's going to be some players that have normal dev, but if I see any other elites, I'll definitely highlight it. That would be huge. Impact on this quarterback. I think if anything, I would have really liked some help with recruiting, but then I saw this coordinator and he's the architect tree available. That could be a big difference maker, while Greg Drake could be that guy that gets us bonuses in motivator and recruiter. We ended up getting to hire both of them, and they might be with us for the rest of the rebuild. Compared to what I have, they're definitely a big upgrade, though I have 50 coach points still to spend. Let's look at Dustin Sullivan's architect tree. With tier 2 on all of our offensive players, there's now a chance to increase a random skill cap every time one of of them levels up. That is big. So let's say every time Caleb Mickle progresses, he has a chance for one of these gray skill caps to be removed, and then he can progress even farther in those stat categories. I hope that makes sense. We also got this 4-star receiver to commit, and that is very needed because take a look at this. All of these players have zero chance at persuading them to come back. They're all entering the portal. We just lost all of our starting receivers, 1 to graduation, 3 of them have quit on the team. And by the time I'm done scrolling through all of this, I think we literally just lost like 50 players off this roster. Maybe the trash took itself out though. Now we get to look in the transfer portal and there are 6 different players we can go after from Texas. I'm not sure how needed they really are, but I can say I'm disappointed that this 4-star chose SMU over us. And it might look like things are going good with these transfers, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lost these battles. Like I expected, wide receiver Micah Bell chose a different Texas school. And then the next week we lost a 3-star guard and another 3-star receiver. I should probably still be happy with this class though. It did finish inside the top 20. We had that 5-star commit. It's just we came so close to signing some much better players and then they ended up choosing a different school at the very end. Of all the important dev traits I just scrolled through though, this is the best one. The quarterback we found has 96 throw power, star dev, and also 90 speed. He was a 3-star prospect, but he's coming in as a 75 overall. Then you have our wide receiver room, and at the moment Gabe Andres is the highest overall, but he is normal dev. At least things are going well defensively. 5-star Ben Escobar has platinum quick jump. It gets him off the line faster, so we have to move him to right end. Then when it came to cornerbacks, we did a really good job replacing all the players that we lost. Player progression can be weird sometimes though. I'm not sure how many of those guys are actually going to be starting. We have an 82 overall team, but I don't believe it. We have a few players over 80 overall. The guys that jumped up as well just want to transfer out anyway, so it's not going to help us much. And at the moment, I don't really like our odds of winning a championship in 5 years with this team. I'm going to have to cut players that won't help us get to that goal. That's going to lead to us having a lot of team needs though. Even with the positions where it says we don't need players at, we need them. Our overalls are not good enough. With our school grades dropping the way that they did though, it might make recruiting only in Texas even harder. I feel like I shouldn't even try to go after this 5-star, and most of these 4-stars I'm probably not going to sign, but there is a solution to this. I've saved up my 60 coach points. Our other coordinators seem to cover the other categories decently well, so we're just going to go into here. And by the time that I'm done, all of these upgrades should make recruiting a little bit easier. I felt like I had to spend it like that. Jaquez Tabor, let's take a look at his skill caps. I mean, they're not the best, but he could probably become like an 83, 84. He's still the best option that we're going to have, at least for the moment. And then Parker Jenkins only has impact dev, so he's not going to fill up all these skill caps, but he's going to be really good. His speed could even go up more. At least I like what we have at running back, and our non-conference schedule is not too bad besides maybe that Boise State game. Recruiting is still the main focus though, of course, because we're early on in the 5-year rebuild, and these are the players that we're going after. I found a 4-star gem. And with quarterbacks, I don't normally go after improviser tendencies, but I'd love to land him. With only 500 hours to spend though, I have to put limited hours on some of these receivers. And to be honest, I might be taking a big gamble and we only sign like 2 of those 4-stars. I feel like in order to have the best chance in recruiting, I have to beat Tulsa, because if we lost this game, it would be a disaster, and I'm glad I hopped into it. Our freshman quarterback has struggled in his first game, and on this 4th and 8, we are not going to hold on to the ball. So the longer this goes on for, the worse it's looking for us. I knew this team was going to be bad this season, but I was at least hoping it could be better than what we had last year. And all of this comes back to us not being able to get that 5-star quarterback. Failed drive after failed drive means we don't have much of a chance with a minute and a half left. But we are not out of it yet. We still have all 3 of our timeouts, and picking up this 4th down would have helped. I can't believe how inaccurate Tabor was in that game. But losing to Tulsa sets the tone that this season's going to be terrible. With our current school grades, recruiting's also set up to be a disaster. And Miguel's interests were so bad that I'm going to have to try to sway him on 2 different other options. If I ever failed a 5-year rebuild, it would probably be this one. And I thought we lost since more players want to transfer, but I see that we're 1-1. Thank goodness we bounced back on the road at Rice. Our defense was clearly superior to our offense. And Jaquez Tabor is not playing well, which is why we need another quarterback. Our sways on this quarterback didn't work though, so we're just going to have to hard sell him or else SMU's going to steal him from us. They've been such a pain in recruiting so far. Now we're hosting number 23 Boise State, and I think we have to try to take them down. It definitely helps us that they no longer have Ashton Jeanty, but it's only the 2nd quarter, so there's no guarantees that we're able to keep this up unless they throw us an interception, and that's going to make a big difference. Now we have a chance to end this first half with the ball and a score, but the run didn't go well. I am always aggressive. We'll go for it on 4th and 2 and pick this up. We've been without Parker Jenkins in this one because he dislocated his wrist, and you would think that would make us play worse offensively, but it hasn't mattered much. I think Boise State came into this one extremely overrated because of their season last year, and that meant that Jaquez Tabor had his best performance ever, and it's not even close. Am I still going to go after his replacement? Absolutely. But now if SMU steals him from us, us, which I think is going to happen, it's not the end of the world. Like expected, he chose their school, and they're making it hard for us to sign some of these other 4-star gyms as well. But I have a plan, and it means getting some of these players in for a visit as soon as possible against Texas Tech. That's going to have to become the final game that we hop into this season, and going into it, we're coming off of a 3-point loss to TCU. It might be a gamble, but I feel like it's our only chance at getting some good prospects in this class. But before we continue the rest of this rebuild, a word from Raycon, today's video sponsor. You may have heard me talk about Raycon's earbuds before, mentioning the same audio quality as the big guys, but at a way better price, and that's a great way to describe the everyday earbuds. They have tons of new features like active noise cancellation and multi-point connectivity, which allows you to pair with 2 devices at once. There's also now a quick charge function where 10 minutes of charging yields 90 minutes of battery life, but if you charge them for a long period, they'll have up to a 32-hour battery life. The ergonomic design is probably my favorite part though, because Raycon's everyday earbuds fit the widest range of ears, and there's also optimized gel tips in here that help with a cozy custom fit. I like to use them whenever I'm in the gym, and they offer a 30-day happiness guarantee, so what are you waiting for? See what all the fuss is about. Go to buyraycon.com/board today to get 20 to 50% off site-wide, and that's right, you'll get up to 50% off everything on Raycon's website whenever you go to buyraycon.com/board. But now let's get back to the rest of this rebuild. With 2 minutes left though, we're in a tough spot. We have to go for it on a 4th and 6 that's caught, and I'm not sure how they didn't pick that ball, but we have not scored a touchdown in this entire game until now. It has been rough for both offenses. I mean, nobody seems to be able to move the ball. But now that we need to clutch up, I wouldn't be surprised if they magically figured it out. They're gonna have to spike the ball after that play though, and all we have to do is keep them out of field goal range. It is now 3rd and 5. They've thrown it straight to our vertical hook, and I put him out there on the field. That was such a clutch adjustment. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a typical Big 12 game, but it is a win. And freshman tight end Caleb Thomas had the best performance. I redshirted him for a reason, even if he's only a 72 overall, and he's pretty much gotten as good as he's ever gonna get. And that's because he's led to us getting this 5-star left end. We'd also get a 4-star gym guard, which is big. And then also the 4-star tackle, Cameron Brewer, so go ahead SMU, steal this tight end from us. I knew that our school pitches weren't gonna be good enough, and I still wasted resources on him. So that's my fault, and now we have to sim the rest of the season. I hopped into 3 games way too fast for us to be sitting at 11th in the conference. But I have more good news. A 4-star gym at running back has also signed. We'd even get Alex D as a 4-star receiver, all while that tight end did officially betray us for SMU. With bringing those guys in, what we're basically gonna have to do is just shift our focus to getting the 3 stars in Texas. And I'm proud to say that we're 4-2 before we play Arizona State. We must have beat West Virginia. We signed another 4-star receiver, and maybe simulating's the better option for us because we've won another game, though our schedule should get a little bit harder. If we somehow make the Big 12 championship off of simming, I'm gonna be stunned. But it's legitimately possible whenever you see teams like Baylor are only 1 overall better. The losses were bound to happen at some point though, 3 in a row. Now we might not even make it to a bowl game. And that's also carried over to recruiting, where TCU got this player while Texas got this one. It hurts to see our team just collapsing like this, but we have landed a smoker. This is gonna help out our offensive line. We also apparently picked up a win over Colorado, so whatever happens here doesn't matter. But losing to them by 31 points is pretty embarrassing. Now, to be fair, Parker Jenkins was hurt for most of the season, and with our backup running back not running the ball too well, it makes sense that we'd struggle offensively, especially when you factor in we're also using a freshman quarterback. All of that to say our best player on offense was this freshman receiver, Gabe Andres, but even though he's 6'5", I can't get too excited about him. He has a normal dev trait and not much more room to grow. Since we went 6-6 this year, I think we have to keep our coordinators around, and we've made it to the Pop-Tarts Bowl against North Carolina. I think winning this could really help our team prestige, though they average more points per game and they're 1 overall less. If we're still not going to perform very well in conference play, this is our chance to make a statement. And that's exactly what we've done in this game. They've had a hard time stopping our offense, mainly because we've running QB. I might have underestimated Jaquez and his 90 speed. He is also going to thread the needle for a touchdown, and we're walking away from this one as the Pop-Tarts Bowl champions. This is definitely a positive step in the right direction, but player dev traits are more important. This time our 5-star only has star dev, not elite, but we're still going to have 2 really good pass rushers because of him. I also scrolled through and saw some star devs, but our 2 4-star receivers we got both have normal dev, which is not helpful. Once again, I feel disappointed with our class. It's not going to get us to this level. It also doesn't help that I have to try and convince 6 different players to stay, and at the end of the day, we're losing another receiver plus this tackle. If this graduating class was any bigger, it would be a big issue, but we really haven't lost that much talent, and we have a decent chance at getting a lot of good transfers from Texas this year. I think we've done enough so far to close out on most of these players unless SMU just takes them from us, and that's what I'm used to at this point, but we have signed a 4-star transfer. We'd also pick up a 4-star 4-star transfer at left tackle, and then another running back as well. So by the time the transfer portal is pretty much all said and done, we got everybody I really wanted. This class is actually coming in ranked a little bit higher than our last one at number 14. And even though I still feel like we're missing some crucial pieces that would help in this rebuild, we are doing a lot better. We've gotten star in a couple players. We have an elite dev on a 3-star center. And I might have too many halfbacks on this roster, so we're gonna have to get creative with redshirting. All I know is moving forward, I'm feeling better about this team. We'll see how training results go. We're not an 86, clearly. We're probably about an 81, 82, just looking at these overalls. And with this schedule, what I'm expecting out of that team is maybe 7 or 8 wins, just like last season. Now, like I said, I am gonna have to get a little bit creative with redshirting because of how many running backs we have on this roster. But outside of that, recruiting's still our main focus. Our grades and our hours haven't changed from last year, so it's gonna be difficult to top last year's class, but I'm just hoping that we can find a couple gems, maybe even a quarterback. Well, my prayer was answered. Meet Julius Carmona. He is 94 throw power, 93 speed, and he's a 4-star gem. Now, alongside him, I found 3 4-star gem wide receivers. 2 of them have 99 speed, 1 of them is 97, so those would be great additions to the team as well. And I'm gonna be super upset if we don't land them, but we have to take care of business in games like this. I think I'm gonna sim our entire non-conference slate though this season. I want to hop into Big 12 games. We only got to play 1 of them last year, and coming off of a win, we have a better chance at landing most of these players. It's just gonna be certain schools that might get in the way, like TCU or SMU. If we can just stay in first place until week 6, I've scheduled a visit for the quarterback against Oklahoma State. I feel like that's a winnable game, but we also have to take care of business on the field, and I'm not sure we're gonna beat Rice. They were sitting at 2-0, but now we are after edging them out by 3. And the following week, we're playing at Georgia Southern. This should be a freebie. Deal breakers for playing style are coming in though. It's gonna lock us out of 2 prospects we were going after. And of course, in true Houston fashion, over the last couple weeks, we've just fallen behind on these prospects. Our pitches for Julius Carmona are good. 2 of them are A-minuses. And even though we are 3-0, we're still having issues. I know EA made recruiting harder with the last update. Texas just took this wide receiver, and theoretically they should. He's a 4-star gem with 99 speed. I just really wanted him. I think if we want to land him, we have to make sure that we keep on winning, which means we're going to be playing against number 20 UCF. And I should have scheduled the visit for this week instead of the one after, so that was on me. We've handled them pretty well so far, but there's still about 10 minutes left in this game. The RPO is going to work wonders, and I'm not sure how we got a touchdown out of it, but I will take it. At the end of the day, we were simply the better team. But next week's game against Oklahoma State is far more important. That's the visit week that'll decide whether or not we get the quarterback unless he's already committed somewhere. And I simply cannot do this, dude. They stole him the week before. Every good prospect I found in this video has not chosen us. We're just gonna have to roll with Tabor. And I know he is star dev, but his skill caps are getting close to getting capped out. That's what worries me. The only thing that could help us out a little bit more is our offensive coordinator has architect for that position. But I might want to go down that pathway myself, and we only have to win 1 more rivalry game to do it. I don't know if we have any others on our schedule the rest of the year. At the moment, we're sitting at 4-0, and it looks like we don't. With that in mind, I think I'll still hop into this one against Oklahoma State since they're 4-1. And there might be a really interesting race to see who makes the Big 12 championship. As for the quarterback position, apparently there's 1 other 4-star we could go after in Texas, and I'm just hoping this guy's our answer. He is bronze field general. That's a good sign, but he's not a gem. I mean, that is the most important position on the team, so that's why I've been focused on it so much. We've brought out the black jerseys, and I'm surprised at how good this team really is. We're still only about an 82 overall. So far, we've had no issues all year. I mean, we're barely starting anybody that is higher than an 82, 83. So that's how I know it's our true overall, but the transfers we brought in have seemed to help, and I gotta go away from that. The jet touch passes in this game no longer get as good of blocking as they used to. So we're just gonna run it on the 1-yard line and please punch it into the end zone. That was quite the fight from Tavoris Jones. And I think I've made the right decision in keeping him as the starter while redshirting one of our other running backs because he's had a good year. As this one goes on, we've continued to set ourselves up for success. If we don't get in on 3rd and goal, I'm not too worried because all we really needed was 3 out of this drive. Our defense has made it possible where we don't have to score as many points even though we did in this matchup. I think it's because of the 2 5-star edge rushers that we've signed because Ben seems to be progressing nicely, but the real trick is going to be keeping him around for all 4 seasons. Then on the other side, we have Nick Dykes. He's going to be here for the last 3 years of the rebuild no matter what. And apparently another fast receiver, Moses Slayton, is also going to be joining our team. Pairing him with a linebacker is important because we don't have many linebackers. And it is a bit frustrating. We didn't get the quarterback that we wanted, but Luis Rosa still has a chance at coming here. Let's take a look at these 2 receivers' stats. Moses has shifty with 97 speed, 93 excel. Then Sean Nicky is the guy with 99 speed, also has shifty. Plus there's a chance we land Sal, who is 96 speed, so this is how we finish up our receiving core. Most of the players that we've already been able able to sign have capped out at their potential, which is why it's so important that we revamp this entire receiving room still. I mean, even David, who we signed last year as a 4-star, was normal dev 5'9" and not that good. It's taken a lot of misses, but I believe everything has come together nicely, and now we have to play at West Virginia. Now, I can only hop into one more matchup, and we have 5 straight road games, so this could be where our season goes downhill. But I feel like if we want a chance at the Big 12 championship, it's important that I try to take down the Mountaineers. Right now, I'm playing pretty well with this team, even though I'm still trying to replace our starting quarterback. And this has been one of those games where I know why I still want to do so. We've not done much. The road environment always makes it so much harder to throw the ball consistently, though we're coming away with Andres. He's fighting his way in. And I cannot believe that turned into a touchdown. I thought I threw a pick. West Virginia cannot stop scoring, though. Now they have 31 points. I'm about to take a sack. And coming back down by 20 in the fourth quarter is going to be very difficult to do. That's a good start, but we have a long way to go. And I'm really just going to have to get them off the field on these 3rd and 2s where our safety is going to have to get back to play this ball. Give me that interception. We haven't done much ever since that play, though. We're going to have to make sure we pick up this 3rd and 5, which we can do to Andres. He's had a really good game. But time is ticking away fast, and I'm trying to run the ball, but it's not going far. 21 carries for 48 yards is a pretty rough day for our running back. We're going to see if he can do this on 3rd down, though. And it all comes down to this 4th and 2. We've got to pick it up. I'm going to pitch it to him. We're going to catch it, but we didn't pick up our block, and Jones gets just enough. That's my favorite play to go to in that situation, though I'm not sure if it should be. And now we've been able to just kick it off deep because we still have all 3 of our timeouts remaining, though we got to bring them down. Panic set in for a quick second, but we turned out to be okay. And here we go on 2nd and 8. We know that they're going to hand it off, so we're all over it. It's 3rd and 10 that's a little bit harder to predict, but they have run it again. I really don't want to have to grab those blind glasses again. I'm hoping that I'm able to drive down the field and win this game against number 17 West Virginia. Let's get out of bounds. This is a pretty big moment in Tabor's career. Maybe he turns out to be more clutch than I was thinking. I mean, we're picking up another 20, but it's playing on the road that worries me so much. My hot routes aren't really working, and should I throw this ball? Probably not. I think that one would have been intercepted, but we had enough time to just find our drag and get like 9. And I've realized that I don't need to be in a hurry. We're on the right side of midfield. We'll pick up the 1st. I shouldn't have to force anything. We only need to pick up like 25 more yards, though that's going to be picked. Are you kidding me? I threw it a second too late. Go ahead. Take it back. That is not my fault. It hit the lineman. It bounced into his hands. And I swear, there was someone open. Okay, now this celebration's just making me even more upset. But at the end of the day, this is just season 3. It's 1 loss. There's no reason to break a controller or get too frustrated. No matter how much stupid stuff this game throws at me, I feel like I keep my cool pretty well. And I have found another gem at receiver, 6'5", 95 speed. I wish all that talent was laying around in our first couple seasons. Now we have to sim the rest of the year. And considering we just lost to Texas Tech 42-14, I have a feeling that we're coming back down to earth again. We were probably never going to make it to the Big 12 championship, whether we beat West Virginia or not. But something about Luis Rosa just dawned on me. His main deal breaker is championship contenders, so we can't keep losing. That would lock us out from being able to recruit him, but we're about to play at Kansas State. As happy as I want to be that we're signing more receivers, we're going to lose. Our championship contender falls down to a B-, and we're currently on a 4-game losing streak with Colorado coming up on the road. After that, it's Baylor and Cincinnati. There is not a single guaranteed win for us remaining on the schedule, even if we are supposed to be a better overall. And Texas is starting to creep back into the battle as well. We're not going to get Rosa. However, a 30-3 win against Colorado might change that. That was the lucky break that we needed. We've also signed some more 4-stars, but they're not too impressive. A couple of them were bust. And of course, here we have it. We have a deal breaker for both of these exciting prospects. Apparently, a 4-point loss to Baylor dropped us from a B rating all the way down to a C in 1 week. And now it's crucial that we beat Cincinnati, but I have zero control over it. Well, I advanced the week and we have Luis Rosa committed, so we must have beaten the Bearcats. And I should have been more excited, but I was just confused. We blew them out 45-7. I'm assuming that means our quarterback went off. Yeah, 5 touchdowns. What Tabor doesn't realize, though, is that doesn't solidify his starting spot. In fact, it opens up the opportunity for it to be taken away. Losing that game would have been more helpful for his career. We finished 11th in the Big 12, and it wasn't the best of years, but he did take a step forward. 31 touchdowns, only 9 picks. We also got the best performance out of a running back so far. Jones had over over 800 rushing yards. And then sophomore receiver Quentin Drake had 12 receiving touchdowns with almost 1,000 yards. We have some really good prospects on this team, but D'Angelo Haywood's not going to be one of them. Texas is clearly going to come back. Seeing him choose another school really doesn't bug me that much though, because we brought in some other good receivers. You can only throw the ball to so many players. We're playing Syracuse in the Gasparilla Bowl, and this is a great chance for us to go out and finish with a better record than what we had last year. That really puts the pressure on us with a minute and a half left in this game though, because the goal for each season is just take one step forward. That's all I want. The biggest problem with this game is our offense has not been at 100%. As you can see, we're using a backup quarterback. Jaquez dislocated his shoulder and he's out for the game, but at least it's no longer than that, because you can have injuries on this game that carry over from season to season, and those are the worst. Now, ideally, this would be the game-winning drive. I don't want to give them a chance to respond back, so I've taken a lot of time off the clock, and on this second down run play, I think Jones is quick enough to take it in. That's going to get us our second bowl win in a row. We're finishing at 8-5, and I'm happy with how season 3's gone. My only concern, though, is we only have 2 more years to win it all now. 99 speed receiver is a star dev, another star dev receiver. We have elite on this defensive tackle, and we also have elite on this run-stopping right end, but here's the issue. Rosa's only a normal dev. That means after all the stress that I went through trying to land him, I don't think he's going to be the quarterback that gets us a championship, and Texas Tech represented the Big 12 this season. We only have one player that wants to transfer out, Raylan Adams. There's a medium chance he comes back, though, and the free safety stays. I was hoping we'd at least improve our pro potential with one of these players getting drafted, but it's looking like that's not going to happen. But it did. We have produced a 7th round pick. How that's going to give us a B pro potential, I have no idea, but I'm going to take it. And it looks like there's only 2 transfers interested in our school this year. Both of them are from Texas, though. One of them is Peyton Pierce, a 4-star sophomore male linebacker. That'd be a huge addition, but we're also going to go after some 2-stars just to make sure that we can fill up all of our depth needs. Recruiting just out of Texas hasn't been that bad, but for this hard sell, we're going to have to guess between 3 different pitches, and I'm not sure what to go with on Peyton Pierce. I'm trying to use my brain, though. If he's coming from LSU, it's got to be something that they also have, and that's not helped me in the slightest. It could also change when he transfers, so we're just going to go with playing time. It's pretty important that we land him. He could be a big piece to our defense. I'm also going to schedule him for a visit, and we can pitch playing style. That is going to be a guaranteed hit. And I must have done something right, because Peyton Pierce did choose our school. I was not expecting that, but since we didn't sign a 5-star, our class rating is a lot lower, all the way down here at number 30. I really don't care what it's rated, though. For recruiting only out of Texas, it's still a good class, and I think it's our best one with the amount of gyms that we had. Peyton Pierce is going to come in at an 84 overall. We're going to have him for the final 2 years. And no matter what happens in training results, I'm definitely starting the 2 freshman receivers that have star dev and are even faster. It is time for the moment of truth. How much has this roster improved going into year number 4? 88's our best overall, but I feel like we're a lot better even if the overall only went up by 1. I also don't think Ben Escobar will declare for the NFL draft early because he still has room to grow, and 88's not that high. I still have 50 coach points I can spend as well, and as much as I thought I'd save it for Architect, I have to spend some in Motivator and Tactician first. I think if anything, I'm going to go down the Tactician pathway and just make sure that our offensive line plays better than they should, but the rest I'll be saving for the time being, and I haven't been adjusting the schedule from what they'd play in real life at all, so that's going to leave us stuck playing at number 11 LSU. It's going to be tough over the next 2 seasons to win a championship, especially since we're rocking with Tabor. We can't get a better quarterback than him. And I'm not saying he's not good. He would start in most of my rebuilds with 99 throw power and some decent accuracies. He's just kind of capped out at this overall. We also have 4 senior redshirt running backs, so behind them, we need some of these other players to develop. Now, I am a little surprised that Soma's gotten up to an 85 overall as one of our receivers. Maybe the Architect thing with our coordinator kicked in, because I thought these guys were capped out pretty much at their current overall, and I'm still going to start the freshman. What I've done is I've basically built a roster that should be good over the next 2 seasons. I'm hoping next year's our championship year. I'm going to redshirt any seniors that I can, but there weren't many available, and there are so many 5-stars from Texas this year, which is a big deal because we can really only go after them. Any other position isn't going to start for us next year unless we get them out of the transfer portal, because their overalls are capped out, though we might need to add a little bit of depth, but we all know that our odds of actually signing some of these 5-stars are probably pretty low. We'll see how it pans out. Even the best players are probably only going to be like 79 overalls, and now that we've gotten this team up to an 88, that's no longer the standard for us. I really want to hop into this game against the Tigers as well, but I did decide to simulate it because we have the reigning national champion coming up soon, and I also want to see if we're able to win the Big 12. This is now either the 5th or 6th season the Cougars have been in the Big 12, and they haven't had a chance at winning at all. So I just have to hope that the roster that I've built can take care of business. Through our next 2 games, games we'd win pretty comfortably, beating Georgia Southern and Rice, but now it's time for the big one. And Texas Tech is 2-0 in conference play, but they're only an 82 overall. I feel like it's safe to assume that they lost a lot of the talent that was on their championship team last year. But let's just say I've been very mistaken. We have scored no points in this game until this play in the fourth quarter. We basically have to go for the 2-point conversion at this point, and that isn't going to work. By the time we've gotten the ball back, there's only 2 minutes left, so this one is over as well. I just need to adjust offensively, and I think what I'm going to do is switch up the playbook a bit. It turns out starting a bunch of true freshmen at wide receiver doesn't work as well as you would think it would. And I just wish this late little rally could have happened a little bit earlier in the game. They're scooping up the onside kick with one hand. I severely underestimated that team going into the game because we had the home field advantage. But it turns out whenever you compare our roster to theirs, they were almost even, so I'm not sure how they're just an 82 overall. Our playing style is also going to affect the recruits that we're able to get, but it didn't stop us from making our first signing, this 4-star. I tried to stick with Houston's playbook, but as of recently, my favorite playbook's been Clemson, so we're going to go over to that, and we'll see if that makes a difference versus Kansas. I feel pretty comfortable simming this if they're a 79. I'm going to assume it went well because we have signed a 5-star right end, and then we got another 5-star right end, so we might need to move one of these guys to linebacker. There were 3 of them in Texas, and at the moment, it looks like we're literally going to sign all 3 of them, which would happen after advancing another week. It's just a little bit too late. I would have loved if this happened a season before this. We beat Kansas State with our new playbook, and now I have to choose which of these 2 games to hop into. I think it's going to be the ranked road matchups. Even though we're 3-2, if we finish the year undefeated, we could make the playoffs. And it says Arizona's an 83 overall, but I'm going to expect them to be better. Whatever we do here, as long as we don't get destroyed the same way we did against Texas Tech, I'll be happy. And this has been a perfect one for us so far. We've had enough time to do whatever we've wanted to versus this defense. There's definitely been some missed throws from Jaquez Tabor, but that's expected. He doesn't have perfect accuracy. He's going to break that tackle and take it in. I think with another season of development, this team is going to be ready to make a championship push. We have the talent. And even if our quarterback position isn't perfect, I do think he's good enough. We've won championships with worse, and he's starting to grow on me now that I've gotten to use him a little bit more. But with 7 seconds left in the half, the question is, do we take 2 shots to the end zone, which I think we should? The first one's going to be caught, and we don't even need a second one. That was a perfect throw. This was a drastically different experience than playing the reigning national champions, and the 5-star commits just keep on coming. We've now got 4 of them with the potential to get 6, but this guy doesn't like our playing style, and this strong safety isn't a guarantee. But either way, for recruiting only in Texas and going after very limited talent, this is a great class. Before we hop into our next game, we have to play TCU, so I'm a little worried, but seeing the true freshman win National Offensive Player of the Week makes me think that we won. We did 45-38, improving to 5-2, and now we have to play at number 7 Iowa State. That would be a huge result. With only 1 loss, we're definitely still in the running to make it to the Big 12 Conference Championship. But if we want to make that a reality, there's no question that we have to beat the Cyclones on the road. I don't love that this is the last game I can hop into this season, especially since we're supposed to play number 25 Colorado next week. But if we can get a big enough lead, I think that's going to be worth it. We have Moses Slayton on the drag, and for a freshman, he is so good. The shifty ability makes him so difficult to stop, and then we have more speed all around the field. But you might notice our quarterback is not who it's supposed to be. It is number 12. It's not affected our offense so far, but we are missing Jaquez Tabor for the rest of the season. He has a torn rotator cuff. So Jesus DiNapoli is the guy that's going to be starting for us the rest of the year. He's had a difficult time closing out this game though, until they went cover 1 with one of the best receivers in the country. So Jesus hits Moses for a huge play. Talk about an unstoppable connection. On 3rd down though, it isn't working. And with 2 minutes left, we could win this game by hitting this field goal, though it is moving so fast, and yeah, I should have just gone for it. I feel like I'm normally pretty good at hitting those kicks though. That's the only reason I even attempted it. Now it's put our defense in a really bad spot though. They're going to be throwing, not running the ball. And I feel like I'm going to have to call timeouts for them. If we want a chance to make up for it, I almost had that. If they get the 2-point conversion, we've officially choked. We had a zone there, and he just refused to play the ball, so now we're going to see if 99 speed Nicky can get loose. I'm really hoping our quarterback's injury doesn't carry over to the following season. We have a touchdown right here because of how quickly we just got off the line, but it was just a second too late, and now we're going to have to be patient, hit our running back, and get out of bounds. I can't make many adjustments on the road. It's not letting me hot route anything, but there is one route that we normally trust, and this time it has not worked. We're just going to have to scramble with DiNapoli and go down. From here, we basically have 6 seconds to get into field goal range. That press works so well, though, that it won't happen. And this is it right here. Can we get the Hail Mary for the win? We had enough time to get the throw off. It's going to the end zone. We're going to aggressive catch it. But unlike Baylor, Iowa State can defend that. Now it's time for overtime. There's a lot on the line. And the last time we were in an overtime game, it was against Kansas State, the one I choked. That is still fresh on my mind. I cannot let that happen again, though. They're going to take it inside the 5. And we'll see how strong our defensive line is right here. I'm trusting that we can lock down in this situation. We're basically just stacking the box. But they took it in. There was way too open of a lane for them, and we're going to have to hit this throw. Whenever I start to blow games, I go away from the run completely. I go away from check down, so that's what I'm going to take here. And I want to say the speed option is something I should be comfortable with on 3rd and 1, but we shouldn't be able to pull that off with our quarterback. He is not much of a runner. I'm glad that that still went well for us, though. They're getting in pressure, and it's another loss off of an interception where I should have just click throwaway. I clicked the button to throw it to our running back. Go ahead. Take it back. I just can't do this. I am going to go play basketball, go touch some grass outside, and when I come back, it's time to win it all with Houston. For all we know, Season 4 might not be over. We have 4 games left in the season. If we win out, we might be a playoff team. But in order to do that, we're going to have to take down number 15 Colorado first. I'm not sure if we did or not, but I would assume so if we got the 5-star to commit. And then we got another 5-star as well. There's no way we lost. Look at that. We're currently sitting at 6-3. Only a few players still want to transfer. And we're following up that game playing 2-7 Arizona State. By now, anybody I would have wanted in recruiting is already committed. I'm not really upset that this player chose Tulsa over us. And once again, Moses Slayton won Player of the Week. I'm not sure how he did with that stat line, but we won this game 38-7. I'm going to take a look at the actual numbers that he was able to put up because I had to assume that he also rushed in for at least a touchdown. 2 games left on the schedule now at Cincinnati and against BYU. So if we beat the Bearcats, we'd be at 3rd place in our conference, still having a chance at making the Big 12 championship. And we're number 16 in the country, so we also have a chance to make the playoffs. Keep in mind, this is with a very injured team. Even Ben Escobar is out. I mean, these injuries are starting to go insane. But Jesus DiNapoli is only 2 overalls worse than him, so it's not a huge downgrade. He is Silver Field General as well, so maybe we're just going to roll with him for a while because his accuracy could still get better. It's really a toss-up. I don't like the physical or mental abilities that Jaquez has, and we've played better with DiNapoli as we're up to number 13 in the country. That screen kind of gives away if you want or not. Now all that's left is beating BYU. And it was a tight one, just like against Cincinnati, but we took them down by 3. Right now, we are sitting at 9-3, right behind Iowa State. I really wish we beat them. But because we didn't, we are right outside making the Big 12 Conference Championship. The 2 teams that got in from our conference were the 2 that beat us this season. But we should have a chance at revenge in the playoffs because we've stayed ranked number 11. Moment of truth. After the Heisman winner, your bowl game normally pops up. I really hope we don't get snubbed, and you've got to be kidding me. How did we just get the Alamo Bowl? We're number 11 in the country. I don't want to play against UCLA. I'm so confused right now, but apparently we were the one team that didn't get in. It's because the conference champions automatically do. The thing is as well, I can't say we deserve to get in over Texas Tech or LSU because both those teams beat us. The game actually got it right. That definitely stings quite a bit though, and of the 5 stars that we've brought in, I haven't seen an elite dev yet. There we go. We have it on Marcel Kroom, but he still might not play for us. I still cannot believe that we got snubbed. Jesus DiNapoli did not have the best stats, so we're definitely not going to use him next year. Parker Jenkins will also be gone. Receiving wise though, apparently Blue Taylor's our new starting tight end, and then our 2 leading receivers are both true freshmen. Moses should have definitely been in the running for the best receiver with 14 touchdowns, but he was also snubbed. And I guess all we have to look forward to is trying to win our 3rd straight bowl game. You know what? Thinking about all the injuries we're going with, starting off down 21-0, maybe we shouldn't have made the playoffs. We might have just gotten blown out in the first round. And the longer this game goes on for, the less and less I think that we're going to be able to pull off a comeback. Whether or not we win this game really doesn't matter either. And with like half of our starting defense injured, they just weren't able to get like a single stop. We couldn't even finish off that final drive, so we lost 52-24, and yeah, it's a good thing we didn't make the playoffs. I was upset, but at the end of the day, we just had too many injuries. And I'm just glad that we weren't good enough to where one of our coordinators got poached. To my surprise, the Big 12 almost had a national champion again, but it was LSU who took us down. And I think all of our losses this season, though that blowout was super embarrassing, are actually really respectable looking back at it. With most players returning, I'd say we'd be in a good spot, but then I saw that Raylan Adams wants to leave this team, and he is gone. The same could be true for Peyton Pierce. He just switched teams last year, transferring to our school, and he's left again. If he can't be loyal to us, there's no way he can be loyal to his current girlfriend. And that, along with our starting defensive tackle going on to the NFL, is going to hurt our defense next year. Only being able to get transfers out of Texas, there are a few players that want to come to our school, and both of the quarterbacks are actually from Texas, along with this left end. I don't know anything about either of these guys, but if they came in and started for us, I mean, he is 99 throw power, 95 short accuracy. There's a chance it could happen. 99 throwing the run with this one. And now I have to really consider whether or not we're going to roll with Jaquez Tabor coming off of injury. This is such a crazy spot to be in, but sure enough, TCU's going to take one of them and SMU's going to get the other. The only way to save this is guessing his hard sell perfectly, but there's multiple options I'm going to have to pick between. Now, this is the split I ended up going with, and you'll notice that conference prestige is the one I don't think is Trey Owens' motivation, and that's because he is both North Texas and Rice on his final 5. Then with Cash McCollum, I see that his main deal breaker is playing style, so that means that we are going to have all 3 of his motivations already figured out. I'm hoping some of those breakdowns made sense. We're still in first place, but none of them have signed. And apparently, I ended up guessing wrong on Trey Owens. We could have gotten him to commit last week. I thought I was a genius. Turns out I wasn't. I missed both the hard sell and the soft sell on Braden Creer. And the fact that we're still going to make some signings is incredible. We just got the #1 transfer portal option. We've also signed Braden Creer, but I think the other quarterback chose another school. And I really can't blame Cash McCollum for that. He shouldn't have gone to our school if Trey Owens did. This ended up being a class of just 11 players, but more than half of them were 5 stars. And it was all built through the state of Texas, so the ranking being at 21st is super disrespectful. I think this is the most impressive class we've put together, even if some of these players don't end up starting for us. And I think we have to roll with Trey Owens. He comes in as a 90 overall. I've never had this happen before in a rebuild, so this is pretty exciting. Apparently, he started off at Texas. And during the position changes week, Jaquez Tabor still has a torn rotator cuff. He is such a good athlete, though, that I might move him over to running back because he could become the starter there. Our options at the moment are very limited. He's actually our best one. We'll see how training results go. And I could also consider some of these wide receivers for that role just to see how they progress. Now, there is one gaping hole on our defense, and it's middle linebacker because our best one transferred out. So I have to move somebody over there, and it might just end up being someone with 96 speed. He could make for a good user. Because I only have 40 coach points, I'm also going to refrain from going down the motivator pathway ever, and I'm just hoping that this team has progressed well. We're coming in at a 90 overall, and we can work with this, though it's not the best roster I've ever had. Something that can help with overall is cutting the lower overall players on the team, so we'll do that first. And I can also go down the tactician pathway for 2 different position groups. I think DBs is obviously the most important one, and that's just because since we run a 3-3-5, there's 5 of them out there on the field, but we're also going to make sure that our linebackers get a boost. Defense is going to be important for us, and we're officially up to a 91 overall. We can definitely work with this roster. To my surprise, our 2 lowest rated receivers are our best 2 from last season, so training results should have put them up higher. But we're still going to start them either way. Non-conference isn't looking bad at all, and that Utah game's probably the first one that I'll end up popping into. Considering Iowa State's the only Big 12 team that's currently projected to finish higher than us in this ranking, we might be able to run the table during our conference. We're also starting the year off with some easier opponents, so I love to see that. Through the first week, we've picked up a win, but 24-22 over Old Dominion is concerning. I don't know if Trey Owens is just taking a while to gel with the offense or what, but maybe there was a reason he wasn't starting at Texas. I also ruined Tabor's chance at playing quarterback for us, though I think I could still switch his position, and I have figured out how to do it. If we lose a game, he's going in as the starter. Apparently, now that he's back at that spot, though, he's only an 84, just like Jesus Di Napoli, and I'm just hoping that we win at UNLV by a little bit more. It looks like we are 2-0. Now we're going to take on Sam Houston. They're an 80 overall, and there's Moses Slayton winning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. It seems like the game against the Monarchs was a fluke. We've started to win by a lot more points. Now we're going to take on Kansas State, and I think it makes sense to. They're right outside the top 25, and they're an 86 overall. We also have to make sure that we keep an eye on the rest of the Big 12, though, just to see who's having a good year. And I think it's pretty cool that Trey Owens has transferred in, trying to win a championship with us. I've never had it happen on this game before. It's super realistic to something that could happen in real life, and you cannot leave Moses Slayton that open. It's safe to say that they would learn from that mistake, and they've done a pretty good job on him the rest of this game, though I think he's going to be able to take the top off of the defense here, and that's what you do out of the slot. He's not even our fastest receiver, but he's the one that gets open the most. And I find our defense being the main issue with this team so far. On 3rd and 11, they have too much time. They're going to hit me with a flag as well. So go ahead, give them the first down. We can just get them off the field on this 3rd and 8, and I didn't mean the switch stick, but it definitely messed up my coverage. They ended up scoring a touchdown. touchdown. Then they got a field goal on their next drive. They're going to get an interception right here. I'm so sick of that happening. Our offensive line is way too strong to be giving up stuff like that. I'm going up to the 99 speed wide receiver who actually is getting clamped up. I'm going to lose my mind at this point. If the computer keeps giving me issues, we're not winning a championship. I mean, we're struggling with Kansas State. It's not like they're exactly the best team we could be playing, but that was a clutch third down and we're still in this one. It took our defense like 3 minutes to give up another touchdown though, and this is going up to Moses Slayton. You know what? They had players back, and I don't care. I didn't build a team this good to go out like this. We just have to get a stop. And this is a crazy call to punt on 4th and 1, but I guess they felt like they couldn't hit the field goal. There is one route in the Bordeaux route tree that I love to throw, and it's this fade route right here that gets tipped for a pick. Like, what else am I supposed to do there? The game clearly wants us to lose. And what is their quarterback doing jetting off like this? Go ahead, get to 50 points. I feel like I've seen it all with this team. I'm going to make some changes. We might even start running like a 4-2-5 just to have less linebackers on the field. And as long as we preserve our 3 timeouts, this game isn't over yet, which is kind of crazy to say. Though there it is. There's the fumble. Oh my gosh. That was a struggle. Kansas State played us super well. And you have to wonder if this team's even capable of winning at all. We literally had our best receiver go off and it still wasn't enough. But our schedule is about to get a little bit lighter, though these road games at 3-1 teams do concern me. It is really nerve-wracking to know that we can only hop into 2 more matchups. We have to sim the rest. And if we're 4-1, we beat Utah, but can we do the same against Arizona? It's on the road and they're 4-1. I should have known it would have gone well when I saw they were an 82 overall team, but now we have to play at Cincinnati. I mean, there are some tough games still on this schedule. I kind of want to skip this one against the Bearcats and face TCU, though, just because they have Cash McCollum starting for them. But if this doesn't go well for us, I'm going to regret that the rest of the year. Well, our championship contender rating's gone up. We're 6-1. So things are still looking good. We won this one 34-13, and our defense has finally started to show up. I didn't change anything about it either, though TCU is 4-3. So I have to decide whether or not I want to hop into it, but looking at our last 5 opponents, they're probably the second best. They aren't in the running for a Big 12 conference championship though, and Oklahoma State is finally playing well. I'm glad that we don't have them on our schedule. This is going to be a night game. I think it's been a while since we've played at TCU. And I can't remember how the last one ended, but this has been the battle of the 2 quarterbacks that transferred out, and we just got the best release possible with that press. I still can't say his last name, but he's actually been a lot better for us than I thought he'd be. And all I wanted to do with this game was make Case McCollum regret not choosing our team, though the switch stick has really confused me. I'm surprised that we're still getting an interception out of it, and I feel like they put out an update that said there was a way to turn that off in the settings, so I'm going to take a look at it right now. None or disable switch stick. That is perfect. I think that'll help out defensively through the rest of the year. You have to guard those drag routes, and I might just play this game too aggressive, but I'm going for it on 4th and 3 where they are all over our running back. Looking back on it, that was not the right decision, though we are going to get them to a 4th down, and they're out there in 5 wide. I'm hoping that we can get an interception, but we give it up. Now on another 4th down at midfield, we are going for it again. This is how you lose a game. Bounce to the outside there, pick up one more block, and never mind. This is how you take a 2 touchdown lead. We've gotten it back to a 14-point game. I have the worst vision in the world. We did not deserve that touchdown. But at the end of the day, it helped us hold on to our lead, so we picked up the win. And I think it's safe to say we had the better quarterback. Yeah, I might have thrown a couple interceptions with Trey Owens, but he still had a better performance than Cash McCollum. And with 10 coach points available, I'm going to upgrade him a little bit more just by boosting stuff like his throw under pressure. That was a fun win. It's moved us up to the number 5 team in the country, and how is Kansas State below us if they beat us? We could meet them in the Big 12 Conference Championship as long as Oklahoma State doesn't have a tiebreaker over us, but we have to get there first, and of course we're going to sim at BYU. That felt like a no-brainer, but we only won by 3 points, and what has happened to Iowa State? I think we might just hop into the game against Kansas. Apparently the Cyclones are 2-4 in conference play. They're just an 84 overall. We get to host it. And next on our schedule is 2-8 Baylor. This should be another win. I mean, if left end Zion Taylor had 4 sacks, we can assume it went well. And it did. We're currently sitting at 10-1, number 2 in the country. We beat Iowa State 34-0. That makes up for why I even started this rebuild. I chose Houston because they lost 20-0 to Iowa State in real life. Now we have returned the favor with our defense and offense playing amazing. And to finish this regular season, we're going up against Kansas, who's an 80 overall. I might as well hop into into it, Kansas State has also dominated in Big 12 conference play. We're locked into the conference championship. But we don't have anybody on the Heisman watch, and the leader right now plays for LSU. They've been really solid on this file, but I don't think we can overlook Kansas, especially if the weather's not good. That mentality's been pretty helpful. We've just come into this game, blown them out, but we haven't been perfect. There were a few drives like that one that I wish we finished off, but at the end of the day, Trey Owens caps off his season with a few more touchdowns, and we're ready to see if we can get revenge versus Kansas State, who is still ranked below us. Their one loss was to Notre Dame, who isn't even ranked at the moment. Never mind, they're up at 24. So that's probably why the game sees it that way, but remember, even if they're an 86 overall, they played us really good the last time. Right now, the playoff projection even has them beating us, but it's time for us to prove them wrong and try to win this game of the week. Our biggest issue in the last matchup was we just couldn't stop their offense, and that's already been a problem in this game as well, while we are struggling to get points. I'm starting to think that Kansas State might just be our kryptonite, and I can't force this on 3rd and 9. We're just going to settle for 3, and I feel like I might have shanked it left. I'm going to have to take full responsibility for being the issue with Houston in this rebuild. They're going to scramble for a lot. So now they're in field goal range, and their kicker isn't missing. They've also been smart about not pressing us. They know that we can beat them deep, and instead we're having to go with underneath stuff. With 8 seconds left in the first half, it would really be nice to just get like 3 points out of the drive, but I had to go for the touchdown. And our field goal meter is going to be shaking quite a bit this time around, but I think we've done what's needed to drill it. This has not been the offensive shootout that our last matchup was, which is a really good thing, but only if we actually get our points. So once again, I have to hit a field goal, and that one is down the middle. To me, this game almost means more than anything we play in the playoffs. I just want to beat Kansas State. I'm pretty sure they're the same team that gave me that demoralizing loss in season number 1, and I'm going to the 99 speed wide receiver. Come on, just hold on to the football. I have had enough of the Wildcats. I cannot lose again, and I think that's shown really well in this second half. I've already drilled 2 hard field goals, and I might be able to hit a 3rd, though it is wide left. The worst part about that is the good field positioning that we gave them, but their quarterback's thrown it straight to our zone, and Palacio, however you say it, is going to be gone for the touchdown. That is what we needed right there. I can't score offensively right now. Their fans are just shocked, and you best believe I'm hoping that we can do the same type of thing here, as they are not picking up the first. This is a pretty big call for them to just run it on 4th and 2, though we have nobody over there, and this is when getting stops really matters, though they go with the halfback toss and they're short. We might actually have them held. It is 3rd and goal, and we are all over their running back. Come on, bring him down. This is it right here. There's no way they were going to run it, and they're out of bounds. I feel like we could have been bailed out, but I'm just calling a play super quick. I don't want the refs to review it. Do not go for a safety. See how much they're backed off of all of our receivers? They are terrified of us going deep. But that's not much better. Slayton is going to be able to get out of there, and he breaks a tackle. I have had enough of Kansas State, though we're going to need our crosser to get open late. And of course, Taylor can hold on. This is starting to feel like a big win, though we did choke the last time we had control of a game versus them. And it was off of a bubble screen, but I'm going back to it anyway. I felt like we had a chance of getting open. I don't think I'll ever forget how I choked that game in season 1. If we're patient and take our drag, Andres is going to go down at the 1. Right now, this means more to me than winning a championship. Just get into the end zone. That means we're going to burn a little bit more time, though. I'll take it. It's not been a perfect game from us, but we have played well, and they're going to hold onto it on 4th and 5. That was a little ridiculous, but we could get them off the field on this 3rd down, and we are all over it with Palacio. He's our best cornerback, apparently, and he might even get a touchdown out of it as well. One person to make miss, that juke is filthy. But even if we didn't get in there, we still beat Kansas State. It was only a matter of time. It took getting Trey Owens to come to our school. He had a lot of passing yards. And this Big 12 Conference Champion trophy was worth transferring for him. I have to say, we have just climbed up every season, getting a little bit better. And thankfully, Nick Palacio gets the recognition he deserves as National Defensive Player of the Week. He's put us in a position where we have jumped over Miami, even though they won and we're now the #1 team. It also shocks me to see that Moses Slayton has won Player of the Year, but it's all based on where you're ranked, so he's also taken home the Heisman Trophy. As the #1 team in the country, we're about to get a ton of awards. And I've talked about it before, but EA needs to fix this in the next game. As good as some of these stats are, we shouldn't get every single one. Because like even our running back, who didn't clear 1,000 rushing yards and he only had 8 touchdowns, is the best running back. I can stand with this one though. We deserve to have the best defensive back quarterback, Nick is him. And if I went down this list of award winners, you're going to see so many different ones went to Houston, it's not even funny. That pretty much showed all of our season stats pretty well. I mean, there's not anything new besides receiving yards right here. Moses Slayton didn't even have the most yards on our team. He also won that Heisman out of nowhere. I'm going to assume that we're playing Georgia in the second round, and that's how things are going to work out. This will not be an easy game. If we can somehow get through them, though, we're playing either Liberty or UAB, who upset Ohio State. So we just have to survive against the Bulldogs, who are coming in at a 90 overall. This is literally it. We're just 3 games away from winning a national championship with Houston. And it's been an incredible start. We've already scored 14 points offensively. Our defense is locking up. We're forcing the fumble as well. So we have a chance to go up 21-0, and all we have to do is make sure that we don't throw an interception. I think we might have Drake in the end zone. I'm going to probably force it, or we can take our hitch route, never mind. And talk about a great first quarter. Just looking at the stats, we have dominated. And we'll see if our drag gets open on third down. It didn't get us a first, though. That is something I can normally rely on. It's a little weird that we didn't get separation, but we should still be fine. By the time the third quarter rolls around, we still have a 14-point lead. And I just love that I'm able to send 3 players and we still generate pressure. All of those 5 stars have definitely made a difference for us, though what's been weird is we haven't beat them deep until this play. That was what really sealed the win. There was no coming back after that. And Trey Owens picked a good time to have one of his best games yet. Then on the defensive side of things, of course, Nick Dykes won National Defensive Player of the Week, and we're ready to take on UAB, who has won another game. I don't understand how a team of their caliber at 11-4 is in the playoffs. They have 4 losses. I'm guessing they won their conference championship. And then ever since then, they just keep on winning. They took down Liberty and Ohio State. We just can't go out to them, though. I might have to actually delete my channel if I lost this game. Don't even go write in a comment right now. I don't want to talk about it. We will still figure things out. There's plenty of time left. It's hard to believe we're even in this situation, but you know what? We can step up, make it a 7-point game. And I just know there is no way that they have the speed to press our 99 speed wide receiver. That was gonna work? This game confuses me so much. We just blew out Georgia. Now we're struggling with UAB. And you see that their defense is literally playing out of their minds. I mean, they just kept up with a 99 speed wide receiver, and they forced a fumble. The longer this goes on for, the more I'm thinking that we might actually lose this game. They're picking up the 3rd and 11. This is simply not acceptable. They're just running such a weird offense. And the worst part is they love to stay in hurry-up mode, which I'm terrible at stopping. Here on 2nd and goal, though, they're actually throwing the ball, and their quarterback is not going to get in. So this all comes down to our defense, and they get a touchdown. This has a chance to go down as the most embarrassing loss I've had in a video. I can't believe that they're able to keep up with us with the press. I mean, we have the fastest receivers. This drive should still end with a touchdown, though it does. And after getting a stop, there's still about 10 minutes left in this game, though they're pressing so well. This is literally so weird to me. Nobody's been able to hold us like this until this matchup. It always happens like this, though. I get too confident for a game, and they didn't get that. All right, I have a plan for this next play, and it simply involves going deep because they're pressing our receivers again. Finally it worked. I also have to point out that on 3rd and 9, they have come out in goal line. This is obviously going to be play action, and their quarterback just gets this instant boost for a first down. I have never seen anything like this before. What is happening? What is our DB doing? I literally pass committed on that play. It didn't matter. Come on, throw me a pick. I am so ready for UAB to make one more mistake, though they go with the handoff here. And here we go. It is 3rd and 14. Surely they don't convert. I am not proud of what the score is at the moment, but what's important is all it's going to take is a field goal to win. And you best believe I'm sliding there. The computer would definitely get the fumble. As long as we can keep moving the chains, we are going to be just fine. I felt like we'd have something here, exposing their defense, and Slayton's gone, but you know what? Should I take the touchdown? I'll take the touchdown. I'm going to go ahead and trust our defense. We've scored like 21 straight. And here we go. 3rd and 15 now. I am going to watch them complete that to the sidelines, which is completely fine with me. It is 4th and 10. I have a lot of players dropping back, and I am all over that. Give me the interception. We're going on to the championship. I told you all, do not worry, I will come back. I guess it's not technically over since there's like 30 seconds left. And of course, they saved all 3 of their timeouts for this. Why am I even trying to throw? The problem here is I know that they're probably going to run commit, so we should have those receivers open. And as long as this is on target, this game is over. I cannot believe how challenging it was to beat them. But the 4-loss American team really gave us a fight. It's also always a great thing to see Escobar's name popping up, and we have to play LSU for the title game. I actually don't like this at all. They've beaten Alabama, they've beaten Miami, and the last time we played LSU, if I'm remembering correctly, they were able to beat us like 65-7. A lot's changed for us since then, but it all comes down to this year 5, will we win it all? Considering they've already flown down the field, I'm not feeling too confident they're threading the needle, but it's a long game. There is plenty of time left, and we need to just make sure that we catch this ball. One of the best concepts we figured out last week was sending a bunch of streaks out there on the field. Their press is not going to work on Nicky. We'll take it. That was pretty much a freebie, and they're running on 3rd and 13, so we're getting it back. We're already on pace to score more points versus LSU than the last time we played them, but we still have to get into the end zone first, and that's what we've done. With 5 minutes left in the second quarter, we've also held on to our lead. But in order for me to feel comfortable going into halftime, I want to get one more touchdown. This could be a tone-setting drive for us. We're just going to mix in a halfback screen with emotion. They got a little bit confused. I'm not entirely sure where to go. Pick up the ball. I cannot believe how many fumbles we have dealt with during this rebuild. I'm just going to send it deep again, and that time they boxed us up, but we caught it. You know, at this point, there's no strategy. If I give it to our running back, we seem to fumble all the time, but every so often he gets a big play. And then when we decide to throw it, you never know what's going to happen. I might be able to scramble here, though. Owens is not the fastest. The camera didn't even adjust, but he wasn't able to get into the end zone. So we should be able to just do that right here. Quarterback sneak. There we have it. We left them 2 minutes to respond back, but I'm not going to complain, because if we give up the touchdown here, it is our own fault, and I know this play. I recognized it right off the start. That is my favorite one to run. So they can take their 3 as we go into halftime up by 12. To start this third quarter, they've also come out very aggressive. I knew that they were going to send the crib, and you can't do that whenever Slayton is able to run by your DBs. After that, there's no coming back. We ended up winning this one by like 23, and it's so refreshing to not get blown out by LSU. We deserve that trophy right there, and I'm still so thankful that Trey Owens transferred in. I spent 4 years searching for a quarterback because I didn't think Jaquez Tabor could get it done, and then he came up in the last period available. Rated as the #1 transfer and all, he was such a blessing. 99 throw power, really good accuracies, and he could have still been even better. I've failed some 5-year rebuilds recently, but this is not going to be one of them. We won a championship with only 3 NFL players, and I hope if there's any Houston fans out there, you're happy with me. Also, make sure to check out some of my other rebuilds if you've made it this far in the video.